Well, let me tell you something, brother.
We're a bunch of marks.
Woo! Oh, yeah! And get some man!
Welcome to Marks and Smarks. My name's Jose Sanz. I'm here with...
the homie Marcus.
And
Big Ralph, or Giganto Ralph.
we're here to talk about this week in wrestling, what could have been, what should have been, and what was. Gentlemen, what have you been watching lately? Anything good?
Nothing really.
I mean, does movies count?
Ooh. I just saw Smallfoot yesterday, so that was a kid movie. It was fun.
Well, I watched My Hero Academia 2 Heroes on Saturday at the movie theater, so...
Ooh.
I mean, aside from that and, like, the regular anime that I watch, I don't think I've seen anything interesting lately on TV.
Oh, what about wrestling? Did you see any wrestling?
I turned off Raw.
Again, I will reinstate, I haven't seen anything interesting on TV lately.
I turned off Raw. I turned off Smackdown. The only thing I really watched is NXT. And I'm watching the match now. The match we're going to talk about. So.
And how is NXT?
It's actually pretty good.
Otis Stotovich versus Tommaso Ciampa for the championship. How did Otis do?
It wasn't for the title.
It wasn't for the title?
No.
Ah, okay. I was wrong. So how did he do?
It was a good match. I think NXT does a good job of, one, explaining stories, two, having their authority figure in the right type of position. He's not the Stephanie McMahon power-hungry type. He's not really the Paige type that kind of plays around with the wrestlers. He's actually like a good authority figure. And the storyline they have about who attacked Aleister Black actually makes sense, and they're weaving it in pretty good. So, yeah, but the match itself was awesome. I really liked the match. It made Otis look like he was a legitimate person that could challenge for the title, and it made Ciampa look like the beast he is. So.
Okay, because I was a little weary when I heard they were doing that. They were doing Otis Stotovich. You know, I mean, Otis is great when he's with his tag team heavy machinery, but you know, I don't know.
No, he's good by himself. At least I thought he was.
Well, what I watched, you're gonna laugh, but I've been watching a little bit of the Mixed Match Challenge.
And how was that?
I have to say, for it being what it is, it's kind of fun because the wrestlers they match them up into teams, of course, and you know it's not always heel with heel, okay? So, or face with face. And it seems it's not as scripted. It's very relaxed. Okay? So they're having fun is what it looks like.
I was watching the clip of AJ and Charlotte when AJ trips and then he trips Charlotte and she's like, "Come on, man. You're phenomenal. You can't be tripping."
Well, no. The best of that was Naomi jumps out, does like a body cross outside the ring. And AJ catches her, and then Jay comes over and says, "Hey, what are you doing? You're grabbing my wife." And he goes, she jumped in my arms. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I have to say, if you watch it, a Jay Uso and AJ Styles match doesn't look like it would be all that bad.
It might not be.
No, I mean, they were in the ring for a little bit, and the chemistry was there.
That should be interesting to watch.
It wasn't bad at all. He made Jay look good, and you know, the Usos have a great style. Not pun not intended. So I don't know. I could see it. It wouldn't be bad if we could get Tommaso Ciampa with Otis Dosovich, or however you say his name. I don't see where we can get Jay Uso and AJ Styles.
I wonder if the Usos can actually be singles wrestlers.
I think Jay could with his wife because he's got that extra, that could help him. I don't know about his brother. I don't know.
Jimmy?
Yeah. And you know what? Jay's got total divas and all that stuff, so his personality and who he is out there to the world, so they can build off on that.
I don't know.
The other...
I'm sorry. I'm just
it makes sense. I would like to see him as a singles.
Well, the other group that was fun to watch was it was Mickie James and Bobby Lashley versus Jinder Mahal and Alicia Fox.
Those are people the only person I really care about in that match is Mickie James, but everybody else I'm just like, I don't care about what you're doing on TV right now, so I just don't pay attention.
Well, Mickie James gets, they'd start doing a push-up contest to see who could do push-ups with Bobby Lashley and Jinder. And then Jinder says, no, and puts Alicia on her back. And then Bobby Lashley puts Mickie on her back. And there's this, backstory of, I don't know which Singh brother it is like trying to help him out. And Alicia and him are trying to fight for Jinder. And he gets on his back and knocks him down. I mean, it's fun stuff. It's nothing crazy, It
sounds it's like you said, though. They cater more to the kids, so they have a lot of more kid-friendly stuff.
It's on Facebook Live, so I'm sure they have to watch what they do. I mean, hell, in the middle of the Carmella and R-Truth versus Asuka and Miz match, they had a dance break.
Well, and that just stems from what happened this week at in Smackdown, where in the middle of the R-Truth segment, Carmella would just be like, "Oh, wait, dance break."
Well, I have to say, R-Truth or Truth TV was over on the Mixed Match Challenge. They were cheering it and asking for a dance break, and you know what? They did it. They just did it, and then the best was Asuka comes running in and starts dancing with them. And then, of course, Miz, being the ultimate heel, is like, "What are you doing? Stop." And he goes, "That's it. If you want a dance break, I'll show you a moonwalk. I have the best moonwalk." And then he does the moonwalk like he's walking on the moon.
Oh, shit.
No, that's what he did. He goes, "I have the best," and then he did the moonwalk like he was walking on the moon, and of course, then it goes. But the match wasn't bad, actually. With all the little shenanigans that they had in the middle of it. They actually put it on a good match, and frickin' Miz was the best, doing his best heel stuff there, So I don't know, it was kind of fun to watch.
I was going to say something, but I forgot.
That's
what it was.
what we hope on this podcast is that you talk.
I forgot what it was though. It totally just lost my train of thought. I don't remember what it was. Oh. Carmella's inexplicable change from heel to face. Do you think because she dyed her hair, she automatically became a face?
I don't think she's changed her character much, to be honest. But
no, I think the partnering with R-Truth, and R-Truth is really more of a face, not a heel.
Yeah.
I think that just mellowed her out. No pun intended with mellow.
Ha.
He's like, ha! Ha! I think she looks better with a more natural hair color, too, because I think her natural hair color is brunette.
Yes, it is. I think that, too. And I think what Big Ralph is saying, the same thing. Her paired up with Truth, who has no clue most of the time, it's fun. Right? And she's funny, and her work in the ring has gotten much better.
Yes, it has. You
know why it's gotten better?
Why?
Because she doesn't have big Cass holding her back anymore.
Oh. Wait. You hear that? That was Marcus dropping the mic.
and that's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
From what I saw on Smackdown, though,
Breaking my computer too.
the fans like it. The fans really like Truth TV.
Oh, they loved it. They were chanting. I didn't see Smackdown. I had to go back and watch the segment because I was trying to figure out what everybody was cheering about.
It was awesome.
Is that a pun?
No, that's not a pun. That's just me saying that it was awesome.
Okay.
It must have been.
It was an unintended pun. How about that?
It's still a pun, though, unintended or not. But some of the podcasts I listen to, when they do, because I've gotten a little tired of listening to podcasts, except for this one.
Of course.
But
nice save.
A lot of the people don't like Truth TV. They're like, this is stupid, get it off my TV. But for somebody Truth's age and what he's doing and like kind of reinventing himself, not reinventing himself because he's still the same character, but doing something to make him relevant, because he can still go in the ring. I'm like, all right, go Truth. He's like 50-something. I think he's 50, 51, something like that. And he's doing really good. So I was happy that he's getting more of a spotlight. No, he's 46. I just asked the Google machine. He's 46.
I was just Googling him as well. But he's also, like you said, he's putting on great matches. And he can put on great matches. I think I watched something over the weekend of when TNA was still TNA and it had the NWA championship with it. Like
he was champ.
He was champ. And some of his matches, again, with AJ Styles and I forgot who the other people were. Jeff Jarrett. They were great. He was in the title hunt most of the time. So he's got the chops. And I think he just came off injury. So that's why he's kind of back.
Yeah, he's a two-time NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
And every time he's on the screen, no matter if he has a little bit part where he thinks he's competing in Hell in a Cell or Money in the Bank or whatever, he gets a pop. And he gets a laugh.
The ladder match, even though he's afraid of heights.
Yeah.
He makes you pay attention to what he does.
He's good. Yes. And that goes to what? Experience? I mean, let's talk about this. I mean, we've got a show coming up where we've got The Undertaker versus Triple H for the last time ever.
That's not going to happen. They're going to wrestle at least 3 more times after this.
Well, there's rumor that
it might be the last singles match.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They're putting the two of them against each other. I mean, there's rumor of DX versus the Brothers of Destruction. You know, there's all that other hype. But for their history, this is supposedly the last match, and you're listening to their promos on Raw, and are you bored? Are you paying attention?
I would like to apologize because my dogs are going to start barking because
the wife just get home?
The food that my wife just ordered arrived. So if you start hearing the dogs barking, I apologize.
It's all right.
There they are.
As if on cue. So you've got Shawn Michaels doing a promo the last couple of weeks. You've had Triple H. You've had The Undertaker. Stuff that we've seen before. Hell, the network is putting a lot of their past championships and rivalries and stuff from the early 90s to 2000, late 2000s on the network to hype it up. Are you excited? Because we've seen them, obviously, at least 30-something times. And do you think their promos are catching your attention more than some of the newer people? Talent? Superstars? Whatever?
What I think it is, I think The Undertaker is the glue that holds all of that together. Because Shawn can cut a promo, Triple H can cut a promo, but as we've seen with people like Triple H and Seth Rollins, for example, when Triple H was in that program with Rollins, you were kind of like, whatever. When Shawn Michaels cuts a promo with Triple H, it's kind of like, the DX thing, like we've seen this before, whatever, right? But you add The Undertaker, and I think he adds that instant bit of respectability and realism, because he's The Undertaker. Like, when he talks, you pay attention. When he says something, you kind of sit back and say, what's this guy going to say? You believe what he says because of who he is. Now, I don't think the Michaels promos, and I don't think the Triple H promos have enough, the amount of effectiveness they have, it wasn't about the Undertaker.
Yeah, but are you also talking nostalgia?
No, because, well...
Whoa, that must be some good food.
Nostalgia?
No, are we talking the delivery person or the actual food?
The actual food. The delivery person, from what I saw through my window, was an old man. So.
Oh, well, he had his time.
Un viejo.
Apollo.
But yeah, if you're talking about nostalgia, I'm not sure if it's nostalgia because they're all around. Because when Triple H cuts a promo, an Authority promo, or Shawn Michaels kind of shows up and does his thing, I don't get the nostalgia feel. I think it's just how the Undertaker carries himself, because his character doesn't change. He's not like Triple H, who's a face on NXT and doing all his charity work, and then a heel on Raw, or Michaels, who you kind of see everywhere, just being Shawn Michaels. Like, Undertaker consistency is the Undertaker, so I think that plays a lot into it.
See, I can see how it would be a nostalgia feeling, because they don't always appear. When it relates to Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker, they appear maybe, a few times. Wait, like maybe what, 5 times throughout the whole year? So I could
it's less
see
for
why it would be. I think it might be less for Michaels. When was the last time he appeared?
Like 2 weeks ago. But before that,
Yes, I meant before that one. Sorry.
Before that, I don't even think he was at WrestleMania, was he?
Was he at an NXT thing? Wasn't he there for Gargano or something like that? Did that
yeah, but that was like kind of off screen though. That wasn't.
That's true.
It wasn't portrayed on the main show.
Well, I meant, when was the last time he was there? He spoke out. He, did like cut a promo, not just there to say good job to the current roster.
Rusev, when he super kicked Rusev, was it earlier this year?
Probably the Raw, the 25 years of Raw or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's when he super kicked Rusev, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, was it Rusev or Elias?
Oh, he super kicked Rusev.
I don't know.
Because I watched that clip a lot on YouTube.
You just like watching super kicks?
I love super kick parties. What can I say?
So you think that their promos are scripted or not?
No. Well,
I'm sure that no matter what, even in the 90s, they have bullet points. How they get to those bullet points, or they have keywords for certain things to happen. So there's got to be that. There can't be just go out there and freestyle and we'll just cut you off when we cut you off. No, we want you to get to here, here, and here. And when you get to here, this is when it's going to end.
Yeah.
How you get there is how you get there, right?
I know Triple H likes to have a script, but I think for Shawn and Undertaker, there's probably more bullet points.
Do you think the current roster can go with just bullet points, or are they just so trained for scripted that that's all they have?
I think Kevin Owens can do it. I think Elias can do it. Cena can do it. Well, he's considered part-time now. I think there are certain people that can handle just bullet points, but there are other people who I think need a script because their promo skills are horrible. I don't know if you guys agree with that or not.
Well, I mean, let's see. We got R-Truth that we were talking about. Is he a bullet point person or is he a script person?
Oh, he's a rapper, like a professional rapper.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, he changes the song every time he comes out, so I guess that's pretty good that he can go off of bullet points, but do you think he does bullet points?
I think he just freestyles. I think he just, whatever comes to his head, I think that's what he just says.
I think the Miz can do it without because he's done it before with the LeVar Ball thing.
Yeah.
When LeVar Ball went into business for himself, like Miz had to salvage that segment by himself, and he did it without a script. So,
yeah.
Do you think they script their superstars or talent because they're afraid of what they could say on live, on TV, that could ruin maybe sponsorship or anything else?
yeah, because I know Vince has a list of words that he doesn't want said on TV.
I'm sure the networks have a list of words they don't want said on TV as well.
No, but it's Vince specifically. Like, there's certain words that you just like. You can't call yourself a wrestler. You can't say.
Yeah, but
that's certain words he doesn't like.
That's company things. You know what I mean? And I can understand that because you're establishing your brand. All right, you don't want to be called wrestler, you call it superstar. It's not a championship, it's a title, or vice versa. I don't know which one it is.
Like, you can't call it a title belt.
Right, so, I mean, that's just establishing a brand. So I don't have a problem with that. But obviously there's words they can't say on TV, and if they go off script, or if they go for business of themselves, then it runs that risk.
Unless you're Brock Lesnar.
But then I'm sure that they go to the network and say, hey, this guy might say, this word or that word because, well, we'll let him freestyle because he has to be legit.
Yeah.
He has to be legit.
He has to be the beast incarnate.
So he has to be like he's going into a fight every time like a UFC fighter. So if he says that person's going to be my bitch, that's it. They're going to let it go. I'm sure they're allowed a few bitches through the year and a couple of assholes.
No,
a couple of bitches.
About,
couple of bitches, a couple of assholes.
Oh, wow. Your language is unbefriended as a podcaster.
I have to mark this explicit, aren't I?
We get to say that a couple of times a year.
Right.
That's like WWE.
If I'm not podcasting, I say it whenever I feel like saying it, but whatever.
That's just crude, man.
I don't care.
Do you think people pay attention to you more when you drop a curse word, or do you think it's more offensive?
Listen, if you're not paying my bills, I don't care what you think.
Wow. So if a person was paying your bills, hypothetically, and you dropped an F-bomb or B, whatever, and they said, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to deduct from your bills, then you're going to stop, right?
Yeah.
So basically, you'll be somebody's bitch.
I don't know about that, but I'll be a lot more mindful of what I say. Like, I can't go to work and start cursing people out. That wouldn't work too well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you could.
I mean, you could try and see what happens.
There's consequences, and I'm not ready for those consequences.
So when you leave work, just hypothetically, the time you get your degree and you get your thing, are you just going to go off on everybody?
Nah.
Only one person?
Hardly nobody, because I don't want to burn any bridges.
Well, I don't know if you'll burn any bridges with one person, like that you don't know that's not upper management or anything like that.
It depends if he tries to shake my hand. If he tries to shake my hand and say, hey, good job, nice working with you, but I will be like, was it though? I can't say the same. So, I don't know. See, now you're instigating, and I don't like instigating.
I was just questioning. I'm just curious. It's just
that's probably a question you want to ask Big Ralph.
Well, I don't know about Big Ralph. Big Ralph seems he's very passive aggressive, so I would think that he wouldn't say anything.
No, Big Ralph. You think you know Big Ralph, but I see what stirs. I see the gears turning, and if you saw what I saw, you'd probably be more scared of him.
I would just be worried if one day he could say, "Hey, can I bring my dog in?" and then I would worry.
Apollo's harmless.
Apollo is harmless.
I would be more scared about the wife.
Oh, 5 feet of fury there, huh?
5 feet and 2 inches of fury.
To the, what are you? 6, what? 3, 5?
6'3". I'm more scared of her than I am of myself.
Ah, well.
You should be.
Yeah, right?
Always for the wife.
Wait, hold on. Anybody here? No. Okay, I'm not scared of my wife at all.
Uh-huh. That's why you had to check.
All right, so we've got... totally off track. So what we got here is what? New school versus old school. Do the old school do it better or no? I mean, yes. I mean, you got people out there. They got Rusev, who's getting Rusev Day over, right? Killings is getting the RTV, but he could be kind of old school, right?
He is old school.
Rollins is burning it down. Freaking Elias is killing it. Owens is awesome. Do you think they're scripted? Do you think, like, when they're writing something for Kevin Owens and he just kind of talks, does his little ad-libs in the middle of everything, that they're like, oh, yeah, you're going to say this at this time? I don't see that.
No, I think like you said, they just give him a bullet point. You know, like, this is what you can talk about, this is what you can't talk about. Everything else is just fair game.
What about NXT? Do you think NXT is scripted?
I think they're a little bit more scripted because they're quote-unquote developmental. But then you have some of the people who came from the indies who can cut promos, and people who've been in the wrestling business who could cut promos, like Gargano, Ciampa. I don't think those guys are scripted. I think people like Aleister Black need a script because his character is so stiff. Who else? I think... What are those guys' names? The primetime player kind of people. What are their names?
What, Titus and Apollo? Or
No, from NXT.
the primetime play? Oh, the Street Profits?
The Street Profits, yeah. I think their natural charisma allows them a certain freedom to kind of go off script a little bit, but still within the confines of what they need to get across. I think there's certain people who can get away with it, but certain people in NXT who need to have that structure.
What about your buddy Enzo when he was around? Was he scripted?
I think he was given a lot of leeway because of what he can do and who he was. I think it ultimately caught up and bit him in the butt a little bit, but no, I don't think he was scripted. I don't think he was heavily scripted.
So it depends on if the person is a talker, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it depends on, like Keith Lee. I don't know if you've seen Keith Lee or not, but that guy...
I've seen the little promos they've been doing for Keith Lee.
Yeah, he's really good on the mic, and he has a natural charisma that makes you pay attention, and it gets across really well. I don't think he's going to be somebody that's going to be heavily scripted.
All right,
you can tell. You can look at somebody and tell.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure if we listen and talk to somebody a couple times or just listen to their promos, you could tell who's comfortable behind the mic and who's not. I mean, let's talk Alexa Bliss. Is Alexa Bliss considered scripted? I don't know. If she's scripted, she puts in her own flair to get where she's going. Especially look at Becky. Becky, who's becoming a monster heel. Is her stuff scripted, or is it just, her kind of talking,
It's hard with her. It's hard to tell because she did go to acting school. So she's, a trained actress. So for her, it's kind of hard to tell. Because she might be given a script and she might deliver it so well you can't tell.
True. So the debate is up. It depends on if the person is good at talking, pretty much.
Like,
Yeah.
Look at somebody like Lashley versus Elias. If you look at Lashley, you can tell he's trying really hard, but for whatever reason, there's a disconnect. If you look into Elias's eyes when he cuts his promos, you can tell like he's really into it.
He's believing it.
Exactly. Or look at somebody like Leo Rush. Leo Rush, like he's cutting promos. You're like, this little dude, like you believe what you believe his hype.
I do. And he's damn good, man. He's got some good matches I've been watching lately.
I think that's the difference between the 80s and the modern era. Like in the 80s, watch somebody like a Flair, Anderson, a Hogan. In the 80s, in order for you to be a top contender, somebody who can hold the world title or at least challenge for it, you had to talk. Like a Macho Man. Somebody like Ricky Steamboat. When they talked, you believed it. And
I don't know if you would consider Ricky Steamboat a talker.
I've seen his promos, his babyface promos, and yeah, I would think so.
I don't know. I mean, his work rate was really good, but I don't think he's a talker. I wouldn't put him up in the, top 20 of talkers.
I wouldn't put him in the top 20 either, but for his character, it worked, I think. And then you look at people who never had to. Well, I can't say that because
I think he was good because he was playing off a heel like Ric Flair, and that's why he was good. Because Ric Flair carried that talking promo most of the time.
that's true.
So,
But then look at the modern era, like somebody like Roman Reigns, who's the champion and the chosen boy, but dude can't really cut a babyface promo.
not a babyface one, but if he's speaking, half truths, he's actually pretty good.
Like Big Ralph says, he's not a guy or the bad guy. He's just, whatever.
Yeah, he's just a guy that they have on my TV that they shouldn't really have him on my TV.
Well, you don't think the whole Shield thing and reunion is helping him at all? And maybe the possible heel turn of Dean Ambrose?
No. If it's Roman that turns heel, then yes. But if it's Dean, no.
I'm going to give you right now my top picks for people who should be the world champion right now based on their in-ring and mic skills. First of all, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Dolph
Agreed.
Ziggler.
Agreed.
Who else? The Miz, Samoa Joe. Those right now are my top picks for people who have the whole package, I think.
You don't think Drew McIntyre's there?
I think he's there, but he hasn't been given the opportunity to show it yet.
I think
Because he's been paired with Dolph, and he's not really given his own spotlight to shine by himself. I think once he breaks away, then yeah, definitely. But for right now, I think being paired up with somebody hogging your spotlight kind of takes away from that.
Well, if you were to talk to Ralph's wife, you omitted Styles, which you don't omit Styles.
I think physically, in ring, he's probably top 3 workers in the world, easily. Mic skills, he's never really been that great of a talker.
Well, he's gotten better.
He's gotten better, yeah, but he's still not there. Sorry, Ralph's wife.
No, I'm going to have to agree with my wife on that one.
Yeah, no, you better agree with your wife.
Oh, man. I don't have a wife to disagree or agree with, so I can say whatever I want.
Well, we know why, and that's because
Love doesn't live here.
love doesn't live there. All right, so let's keep comparing old school to new school, okay? So old school was like, we'll take Hogan. Hogan was a talker. Hogan had charisma. Hogan had no ring skills. He had very limited, right?
It was the John Cena of his era.
The Ultimate Warrior. I would even put John Cena has more ring skill than Hulk Hogan did in his heyday. But
5 Moves of Doom?
Huh?
Well, I consider Cena more for Bret Hart type because they both had the 5 Moves of Doom.
Okay. But we'll take Bret Hart. Bret Hart was a terrible talker.
But you believe what he said, though. Because he believed it.
I believed what he said. I was also freaking, my teens. I was like, yeah, Bret. But no. If you really look at him, he's not a talker. He just was technical. Shawn was the talker.
Okay. I can respect that.
So, Hogan was a talker, had very limited skill set.
What about Randy Savage?
Savage... Yeah, he's an exception to a lot of rules. Him and CM Punk. Punk was a good talker and had good skills, so, you get those.
No, but Macho Man was great in the ring.
I was agreeing, yes, he was great.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, in the 80s you had that. Now, it seems that there's a lot of difference. There's, more, you have to have skills than talk. Or you have to have a little more skills than, leg drop, slam.
So what about
people...
Up. Now, I'll ask Vic Ralph this question because he's been quiet.
Because you guys like to talk, so I just let you talk.
So you can interrupt. You know how to interrupt people. Oh.
Nah.
Wait, hold on.
I'm passive aggressive though.
All right, so let me ask you this, Vic Ralph. Based on what we're talking about, with the point that Mr. Sands just brought up, look at the 80s. Somebody like a Mr. Perfect. He can talk, he can wrestle. Ted DiBiase, he can talk, he can wrestle. Somebody like Roddy Piper can talk and wrestle. never got a world championship in WWE. Now, granted, Mr. Perfect was a world champion in the AWA, but the quote-unquote big leagues, they never got the opportunity. How would you compare them to the modern wrestlers and people who still don't get title opportunities, even though they're pretty much the total package for it?
What do you mean by how would you compare them?
What makes it so somebody gets a title compared to somebody who doesn't have a title but has the qualifications for it? Modern versus old school.
It's all favoritism right now. It all depends on who the company thinks they can make more money with. I don't know how it was old school because unfortunately I wasn't. It was before I was born. But right now it just seems like whoever, Vince thinks can make him the more money, that's who he's gonna give a title to. And some of them are qualified. The Miz, AJ, Samoa Joe, Rollins, and then there's people who are not qualified. Big Dog, sorry, had something in my throat. So I don't know. It's just whoever can make the most money, that's who he's gonna put the title on.
Let me ask Joe the same question. Let's take 6 wrestlers.
Okay.
DiBiase, Perfect, and Piper. Never got world titles in WWE. Now let's take Elias, Miz, and say Sami Zayn. Now granted, Miz got one title run that was heavily... I don't think he should have got that title run. I think he should get one now. But let's take those 6 people and compare them modern to old, and why aren't they champions?
Well, let's see. Modern to old. So you said Elias, Sami Zayn, and The Miz.
Right.
Why?
Versus DiBiase, Mr. Perfect, and Roddy Piper.
So you're just doing heels is what you're doing.
I wasn't really talking about heel or face, just the quality of their mic work and their in-ring work, because they can all wrestle and they can all talk.
Piper was an attraction. He was. He had one title run, maybe 2. He had one with Intercontinental. Piper was there and then left, and then came back and left.
So you think he's technically sound in the ring? I thought so. Some of the stuff I've seen. I know he's classified as a brawler, but some of his earlier work, I'm like, dude, he can really wrestle.
I'm sure, but the way his character was portrayed and positioned, not world championship material. DiBiase, same thing. Just his character would never get the world title, and I look at things in character. Mm-hmm. Okay. His character would never get the world title. Right? Now, Perfect in this era, if we had a Mr. Perfect in this era, which, back then he held the Intercontinental for a very long time, he could be that heel champion, but I don't know.
It's interesting, right?
He could be. If I were going to pick out of those 3 of the old school, I would say he would be the one that I would put as a world champion.
Perfect.
I don't think Piper or DiBiase should have been. Not because they were bad at what they did, just because their character wouldn't allow it.
You know what? I'll do you one better. Substitute Arn Anderson with DiBiase. Or Piper, either one.
I don't see Arn as a world champion either.
Oh, man.
Sorry, I don't.
That hurts a little.
Perfect would have been that heel who would have turned into a face automatically but never changed his character. Perfect could have been a Stone Cold. If he never got injured, if he never had any issues, he could have been. I could see him as world. Now the other side of that, would you say Elias, Sami Zayn, and The Miz? Mm-hmm. Elias is not there yet. I don't think his in-ring work is great. Not yet. I think it'll get better. He's a good talker, but he needs time. Sami Zayn has a good work rate, but he's lacking that it thing that intangible, to make me want to see him as world champion. I know that's hard to say because I'm a really big Sami Zayn fan, but he can connect with the crowd, but that's all he can do. He doesn't have that Kevin Owens factor. I hate to say it for his buddy, but Kevin Owens has this presence about him that you believe that he has this it factor. He's got this thing about him.
He has a presence about him that you can believe that he could
Sami Zayn
bring prestige to the title.
Yeah, Sami Zayn, if I were going to do it, I would put the championship on Sami Zayn, but he wouldn't hold it very long. Something similar like what happened to NXT. I give it for that nice pop. It's like the Zack Ryder. You give Zack Ryder a championship every once in a while, get that nice pop because he's very popular. But he's not going to be able to sustain it. And it's not because people don't like him. It's just because he doesn't have that factor, that it thing that's going to push your brand into the next level, right? Miz actually would probably be the best one out of those three. But again, I see him like just kind of comparing a Jericho type thing. Like he could be that like heavy hitter, that heel that holds it, keeps everybody's attention. People are going to love to hate him because people just love to hate The Miz and be against different people. So he would be on the more current side that I would think. So those are the two I would put if I was going through 3 in the early and 3 in the modern.
Interesting. I guess what you're saying in general is that you have to have the it factor regardless of your in-ring and mic skills. Hogan had the it factor.
Yeah. It's because you can't look at things as... I try not to look at things as what I would like. I try to look at things as what would be in the whole.
Well, look at merchandise sales right now. That's what you're talking about, basically. The top 3 people in the company in merchandise sales, 2 of them are champs.
And because that's what people are going to see. And, like, as much as we hate John Cena, if I tell my 7-year-old right now, hey, we're going to go to wrestling, we're going to go see John Cena, he'll be all excited. Like, when we went to wrestling that one time, he was disappointed John Cena wasn't on the card.
It's not only little kids. I have one of my friends, she is... around my age, if not older, and she's single. And if I tell her, John Cena's gonna be at this match, at this wrestling event, she'll be like, "Oh, let's go." Now, if I would say that to my wife, she'll be like, "No." If AJ's there, she'll be like, "Yes, let's go."
That just went over everybody's head.
We didn't hear you.
Oh, Ralph heard me.
I heard you. I decided to,
not respond.
Not respond because if not, I would lose my train of thought.
What did you say?
I was like, is she single? And he was like, yeah, but he just kept...
Oh. Don't do it, Ralph. Love doesn't live there, okay?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. That's what I was saying, but then let's talk about the moves. All right? In the old times, in the 80s, like you said, they're great workers. They didn't have to put crazy high spot moves every once in a while. Now we've got people doing crazy high spot. Look at Ricochet. He's always doing a high spot. His whole repertoire is just high spots.
I have an exception to that rule.
All right. What's the rule?
CM
it's not
Punk,
rule, but I mean...
Well, an exception to what you're saying.
Okay.
CM Punk versus John Cena.
Okay.
Never left the ring. No crazy high spots, but probably match of the year.
I'm sure... Well, what are we considering a crazy high spot?
Ricochet, Will Ospreay, diving to the outside, doing triple full flips like Charlotte, stuff like that.
I mean, is
Is an elbow off the top rope considered a high spot?
I would have considered it a dangerous spot. Let's say the package.
how about John Cena's off the rope stunner?
Nah.
Is that a high spot? That's the question. Is it a high spot?
Let's take something like the package power drivers that Kenny Omega and what's that guy's name? Pentagon Jr. gave to each other.
Okay.
Let's take moves where after it's done you're just like, ooh.
That you feel like it. You're like, oh damn, like.
Yeah, let's take that for example. Or moves where the people leave their feet and you don't know if it's going to be a nasty landing. Because as somebody who's done gymnastics for like 20-something years, whenever I see people leave their feet, I know what to look for as far as a landing and how you spot your landing, how you land, how you recover from your landing. And some of these people, when they leave their feet, I'm just like, there's no way he lands that without hurting himself in some way. So let's talk about stuff like that.
Okay, so a flying elbow would be something similar to that. Then they're leaving their feet. I mean, because then, I'm sure Punk did a flying elbow in the John Cena thing.
Flying elbows don't hurt as much as you think they do.
What about Cena doing his giant leg drop to the back of the head off the top?
That concerns me because you're landing. it's not because he always executes it really well. And I'm not concerned about the person he's hitting. I'm concerned about Cena himself. Because landing like that on your butt and your tailbone can have a lot of repercussions.
Well, I'm going to take Hogan as an example. He says a lot of his back injuries are due to that leg drop he did for all those years.
Yeah, because you're compressing your spine when you land. And that's hip, lower back, and eventually all that stuff it catches up and adds up to you, man.
All right, so do you think high spots should be limited?
It should be used selectively, I think.
So a person like Ricochet should cut down on the high spots.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Which Alpha agrees. When Alpha agree, that's it.
I do agree that too many high spots can then make you what's it called? It can drive you into an early retirement. But if that's what your career is built on, how do you stop from doing a lot of high spots?
Or you bring them out every once in a while.
Well, let's take AJ, for example.
I was thinking the same thing. Go ahead.
He used to do the spiral tap, which, if you don't know, is a full twisting front flip off the top rope into a leg drop or into a senton. He used to do the Fosbury flop, where if you don't know what that is, if you ever watch high jump and you see people jump over the high bar, that's what that is. Shooting star presses from the top rope to the outside. He used to do a lot of stuff that would get him a lot of notoriety because he would always hit it perfectly. But like he said, he's 40, 41 years old. It's catching up to him. He can't do that type of stuff anymore. So he modified his style to where he might bring it out every once in a while, but not every week on TV. So he's now considered, if not the best, top 3 workers in the world. So you can definitely change your style. Steve Austin did it. Steve Austin used to be a lot more technical.
I guess you could bring him on the pay-per-view where it's the main show, and not bring it in week after week.
Oh, who was it that teased a move? There's certain people that they tease a move, and it's he's gonna do it, and he doesn't do it, and it's it's stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
I get you.
This past week on 205 Live, I know I gotta bring in my 205 Live. Mustafa Ali fought Hideo Itami. Now Mustafa puts Hideo kind of half on the edge of the ring and half in the ring, and he does almost like a frog splash onto the, as they say, the hardest part of the ring. Right? The match goes to a double count out because they're both hurt from it. Now, he doesn't do that move hardly ever. And his finishing move is the 054, which he does like an inverted 360.
Star press is
Something, yeah, inverted though. Very impressive. So you look at that, and then if you watch it, you could see that his body doesn't fully hit, of course, Hideo. But the move looks impressive, and you think to yourself, he can't do those that much, right? I also think of those suicide dives, people going through the ropes, like
Brie Bella style.
Well, Brie Bella. I'm thinking Big E.
I'm thinking Sasha Banks.
Big E, Sasha, and Brie should all stop because every time Big E does, I'm like, he killed himself.
So when when Hell in a Cell was coming up, the network had a marquee match, and the marquee match that they featured were the Usos versus the New Day in Hell in a Cell. I forgot how good that match was, but Big E did a couple of those suicide dives where, of course, now they have the cage, so his head just went right. Like, he crashed in pretty hard, and like we're talking Brie Bella, who admitted that she's 10 pounds heavier, and now she wasn't sure how her weight distribute, and she's probably not going to do that again. And now we're talking a non-high spot move that Brie Bella does recently, where she knocks Liv Morgan unconscious. Now some could say, hey, Brie Bella's dangerous, and the other people could say, if you look at it, it looks like Liv kind of tilted her head down selling the move a little bit, and that's what caused Brie to kick her right in the head. And then because she got kicked one time, and then Brie was in the middle of her yes kicks, and she kicked her again.
No, it's because she was already out. She got kicked by the first one.
Right, but the first one is because she was kind of like, what do you call it, whipping her head back and forth, and her head went forward as Brie Bella was coming to kick, hit her in the head, and then that's when it kind of knocked her out, and then she kicked her in the head again because she was on her way down.
So it's kind of like what almost happened with Mr. No Chin when he was facing AJ Styles, when AJ went to the Style Clash, and what's his name? I forget his name.
Ellsworth,
thank you. He kind of almost killed himself.
He tucked in his head is what he did.
Yes.
And then AJ saved him.
So it's kind of like that, where it's there's a difference when, you know, you're a good wrestler that you can, you know, correct your opponent's mistakes and, you know, save them, where on Brie, she does have some ring rust because she hasn't been wrestling as much. So
let's not talk ring rust, because that match they've been going around on the live events with, because if you watch some, like I have WWE as a Instagram thing, and I have a couple other people that you have on your, you know, that do this, and they show that what do you call it, the like 6-person suplex done, and they've done it at the live shows. So I'm sure Liv and Brie have practiced that spot a bunch of times. You know what I mean? This time it just didn't work, and Brie tried her best to get her back in her corner and out of the ring, right? So she did what she was supposed to. She noticed the problem, and they corrected it. We're talking about all these high spots, but that wasn't a high spot. That was just a spot that went wrong.
Listen, because I'm watching it now, and I'm watching it on YouTube at 0.25 speed. So I'm watching it in slow motion. The first one hits her in the chest, right? Liv goes back, and she sells it. The second kick that Brie does, it's higher than the first one. So she kicks her in the head. Like, she doesn't modify her speed. She doesn't modify her strength. And she legit knocks her out with the second kick. After the second kick, she's out and she's falling down, and Brie kicks her again. I've been in martial arts for 20-something years. Like, you know how to modify and aim your kicks to a point where you're not hurting somebody. I can easily kick somebody's head off. I don't. I could. For Brie to be in the position of a professional wrestler and knowing that you have to take care of the person on the other side of you in a ring, like, her suicide dives plus this kind of make me go, what are you doing? Ring rust or not, look who your husband is. What are you doing? So I don't know. It's just me.
I just think it was an accident. It could happen to anybody, like we talked about earlier. What about Rollins? Rollins injured Sting and Finn Balor, who both agreed to take the move that they've done tons of times, and they just hit it incorrectly. They hit the turnbuckle, they hit the barricade, and for a long time, after those two incidents happened, people said, Seth Rollins is unsafe to work with. Now we cheer Seth Rollins like he's, CrossFit Jesus.
He's the second coming.
Yeah. So why are we so hard on Brie Bella?
That's okay. First of all, I don't think she's ever been that good in a ring. Second, I don't think that her mic skills are good. I think she's a subpar
but mic skill. Okay, we're not talking mic skills. Let's not go into mic skills. We're talking why are we okay to say
hold
it's
on.
okay for Seth Rollins to hurt people by accident. Again, it's all by accident. And
but I think she's subpar, and I think she's only in the position that she's in because of who her husband is.
Owen Hart. Let's take Owen Hart. Knocked Stone Cold on the head.
No, you never do a power driver in that position, though.
We talk about Undertaker does something similar like that all the time. That's his tombstone.
No, but
pile driver.
Undertaker goes to his knees. Owen went to his butt.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying a professional person that we all consider, and the wrestling community considered, very good technical wrestler had an accident. Why did we let...
accidents, but that was an ill-advised move, I think.
I'm sure he's done it a bunch of times. I'm sure that's not the first time he's executed that move. That's what I'm trying to say. Brie Bella probably has done that move much of times.
Wasn't that move the King's move?
No, King did a regular power driver.
Yeah, King.
Oh, okay.
But the regular power driver, you go on your butt.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was the same.
It's like the King's but inverted. It's a tombstone, but instead of him doing like Undertaker does, where he goes on his knees, he kind of fell back, right?
Oh, okay.
Like a pile driver, like the King does. But it just went wrong, and you could see it. You could totally see it in the tape. Austin's head was a little too far down. It wasn't
kind of like those package power drivers I mentioned earlier.
Right.
Those could have easily turned into mistakes. Luckily, they didn't. But I'm just like,
But that's my thing. Why as the internet going so crazy over Brie Bella when we could point out 100 million moves? Hell, that poor guy that took the 619 in freaking Mexico.
I think it's mostly
619.
We just don't like Brie.
Okay, well.
No, literally, it's just. I mean, there's no other explanation. We just don't like her.
Yeah.
I think that's unfair.
It is unfair, but nobody cares. We don't like her.
We sounds like a battalion.
Yeah.
It's being biased. It's being
Big Ralph is not saying he despises Brie Bella.
Right.
Because that she needs a little more work on her, so that she needs more concentration. Is what I mean.
Like, if AJ did it, we'd probably be like, oh, AJ messed up. Like, it's all good. But, I don't know. For Brie, it's just going to, get off my teeth. I don't know. I just don't like Brie Bella.
And there it is. That's pretty much what it is, right?
Yeah, we don't like him.
The same thing we've got with Roman Reigns. The man is actually a pretty good worker, but nobody likes him on their screen.
I don't know if he's a good worker, but...
Well, everyone backstage
it depends on
who's a good worker.
It depends on depends on who he's in the ring with, I think.
Name a bad, an actual bad that doesn't get influenced by the crowd. Roman Reigns match.
Him and Lesnar.
Yeah.
Any match of him and Lesnar.
That's Lesnar's fault, though, I think.
Yeah.
And I've even watched it muted, so not to get involved by influenced by the crowd, and I'm like, yeah, no, I fall asleep.
Okay, there you go, Lesnar. Okay, I'll give you Lesnar, because those were pretty bad. Well, the Cage one in wherever
Saudi.
they were was not bad.
In Saudi. No, that wasn't that bad.
That's a gimmick match, though. Can you count that?
Isn't Lesnar just an attraction and a gimmick match on its own?
Lesnar's a walking gimmick?
It's just a walking gimmick.
So is Charlotte.
But Charlotte has
gimmicks.
I wasn't going there, but yes.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Charlotte.
But Charlotte also has that it factor.
I love Charlotte. So if you're listening, Charlotte, I'm sorry. I'm just talking shit.
But Charlotte has an it factor, so
she has that it factor that makes me want to watch. Like, she is entertaining to watch. Her moves are entertaining, and it's not a repetitive move. Even though, like, she mostly uses the same finisher, but it's entertaining to watch because I can't do that.
No,
and I don't care how much I train, how much weight I lose. I can't do a figure 8 at all.
And that's kind of my point. Like, these moves have been practiced and done so many times. So, all right, this time didn't go very well. Hell, look at Hideo Itami. Hideo Itami did the GTS forever. He does one GTS and breaks Brian Kendrick's orbital socket. Legit. Right? He doesn't do that GTS anymore. Why?
Hey, Brian Kendrick is somebody that's really necessary in the WWE. So for somebody that I don't want to downgrade him and say is small, for that to happen to somebody like him, to have him bend the move kind of makes you look at where WWE is as far as injuries or whatever.
You also have to think how many times they're on the road and where they go. I mean, it's different. It's not like
I think
your
it's
favorite.
Not so much. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go.
No, I don't think it's so much whether Kendrick is small, whether he's a big name. It's more like, well, if it happened to him, what if it could happen to another wrestler? It's kind of trying to protect everyone as a whole, not, hey, well, it doesn't matter if it was Kendrick. Go ahead, keep doing the move.
That makes sense.
I'm just saying that it can happen to anyone, and basically what you said, nobody likes her, which is pretty much what it is, that we shouldn't be calling for her head. Because a move she had a mistake in a move.
I think it's a combination of us not liking her and her frequent and recent botches, like 2 suicide dives, knock somebody out. I just think it's a combination of everything. But mostly I just don't like her.
Okay. Well, those are our opinions and what we think of the, some of the newsworthy things that happened this week. So let us know what you think under our webs. What?
Wait. We haven't talked about the news that was just, announced this, I think was it Friday?
What
Well,
was
I
it?
don't know. Tell us.
Yeah,
What do
tell
you mean
us.
you don't know? I told
It's
you
Friday.
I've been watching.
Whatever happens on Friday, I probably don't.
It's Sunday, man. I don't know what. I don't remember.
It was Evolution coming to Smackdown. After everything that's been going on with Batista, I'm surprised that he's coming back.
Wait, Batista's coming back?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was announced that I forgot. Evolution. I did. I totally did. It was Friday. Not only it was Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, and Ric Flair. All 4 are coming to the 1,000 episode of SmackDown.
Oh,
SmackDown.
God. I assume that he was coming back as like a mainstay. I don't care about that.
No.
Oh.
I don't know, and I know what you're saying because he had all that controversy, what he said recently about the product, about how he would come back, if he would come back, what he wanted to do, plus the James Gunn stuff. So
I probably won't even watch it. I'll probably be studying or something.
Again, make that money, man, so we all could benefit from it. He's like,
Oh, me?
yeah, you.
Yes, you.
Yeah.
Ralph's not going back to school for a while. You need to go back to school. That's fine. Come on.
You need to go back too.
I have no time to go back to school.
Yeah, Big Ralph is.
I mean, you don't need to go back.
Has a few things pending, and then maybe he could go back to school.
Pending?
Pending.
Yes.
Hey,
Pending.
but it's a rush though. You need to get it done.
Someone else can do it for me.
Oh man, that's rough. I'm sorry, Ralph. That kind of had to hit a little bit below the belt. I'm sorry.
So tell us
Only
what
a
you
little
think. Huh?
Only a little bit below the belt.
Tell us what you think about any of the information or newsworthy events that's happened this week in wrestling on our UGeekly website. That's UGEEKLY. We're also under Marks and Smarks under Instagram and Facebook, so you can leave us a comment there. I think that's all the newsworthy things. Anything you guys want to add besides Evolution, which is kind of eh?
Let me check my sources. Hold on a second.
It's kind of but still, I'm surprised that Batista's going back.
It's true.
Hiroshi Tanahashi's going to face Billy Gunn. Tenille Dashwood.
Wait, Billy Gunn's still wrestling?
Yeah, in New Japan. Tenille Dashwood hurt and surgery. What else? Alberto Del Rio talking shit about Paige on social media. I think that's pretty much it.
That's just petty.
It's just petty to me too. Whatever. I don't want to get into that. I read that. I didn't want to comment on that because
I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, it's just a bitter person crapping on another person. So.
And apparently he might come back. I saw an article saying that he might come back next year. So.
All right, Big Ralph is gonna state this: if El Patron comes back, Big Ralph will not watch him on his TV.
But aren't you El Patron?
No, I'm not El Patron. I'm El Gigante.
But you're the boss.
Have you met my family? I'm not the boss.
No.
My wife is the boss.
That, and he's got like a sister and a mother who's like taller than him. So he's not the boss. He's Bebe Gigante.
Pretty much.
Chiquitico Gigante?
Chiquito Gigante. Yeah.
Does that even work?
I don't know.
El Gigante Chiquito.
Hey, we have jumbo shrimp, so we're all right with that not working.
Would that be considered an oxymoron?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Or we're to get my terminology down.
I know you're going back to school. You need to understand stuff.
I'm not going back to school for English.
You need to. So, let's talk about that.
Wow. I see how it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you back. Don't worry.
I know, homie don't play that.
You have more gray hair than I do, so.
Oh, wait, hold on. All right. So every week we have a match that's the main event week, or main event match of the week. So we pick a match anywhere. We don't just we're trying to get away from WWE matches unless a really good WWE match comes up. So far, the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks, it's all been New Japan, and here we are in New Japan again, talking about goddamn names. I'm always afraid I'm going to butcher these names.
Kazuchika Okada.
Say it again.
Hiroshi Tanahashi
and
versus Kazuchika Okada.
They're at Destruction in Kobe. It's a single match. The way the match was structured, Tanahashi won the G1, has got a certificate to fight the champion, which is now Kenny Omega, at Tokyo Dome of next year. He said he won't go into Tokyo Dome until he beats the one man he hasn't beaten, that is Okada. So, they're having a match for the certificate. What did you guys think of this match?
First of all, if you look at Okada's name, Kazuchika, the reason why it's pronounced different is because the kanji for it can't really be
translated.
Yeah, it can't really be translated into English. So a lot of the English commentators, when they say Kazuchika Okada.
Chica. Sorry, that's Spanish for girl.
I know. Kazuchika Okada, right? But if you hear it pronounced by a Japanese person, they say Kazuchika. So there's certain words or certain letters in that you don't pronounce. So that's just my Japanese grammar lesson for the day.
At least you know your Japanese grammar.
Kazuchika. So
not like the English.
Not like the English.
So you would say Kazuchika, right? So Kazuchka. You wouldn't pronounce the I that's in it.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
Yes.
What does this have to do about the damn match?
It doesn't have anything to do with the match, but you were having problems pronouncing it, so I was just giving you a little lesson.
Fine.
Okay, that makes sense.
I know it does, but I said, what did you think of the match? And he went into all his name.
I think the match was great. They always put on a great match. I wasn't surprised that Tanahashi won, but I was thinking maybe Okada might. He gets the contract and he faces Kenny Omega once and for all at Wrestle Kingdom, because I wasn't sure that they really want to book Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kenny Omega. But Hiroshi Tanahashi's story is very good right now, where he's like the older guy, kind of on the outside, and he's fighting his way back, and he's redeeming himself, and he's like, because at one point we talked about New Japan, we talked about Tanahashi. He was the guy, basically. I think he's held the IWGP title the most times of everybody, and he is one of the guys that kind of landmarked New Japan and made it the company that it is now. So for him to be kind of surpassed by people like Omega, Naito, what am I missing?
Well, even Okada, because and you can correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Tanahashi the longest reigning IWGP champion before Okada?
He was the longest reigning, and he had the most title defenses. So Okada beat his title length reign, and he beat his title defenses when he beat him the last time, because they fought for the title before Okada lost it to Kenny Omega, and that was a match where he surpassed Tanahashi as far as title defenses go. So right now Okada has all the records, and Tanahashi's kind of the guy where he has to make his comeback. So I'm very intrigued. Are they going to give him the title at Wrestle Kingdom? The kind of like cap off his comeback story? Or are they going to keep him, or are they going to keep Kenny Omega on top? Because you don't know. Kenny Omega might sign to come to WWE. Said he won't, but you never know. So that might be something they have just in case Kenny Omega decides to leave, because I think all their contracts are up in January, and Wrestle Kingdom's in January. But the match itself was great. They always put on great matches. I can't speak about the match more than I speak about any other match that they had, because it was awesome. It's phenomenal.
I will agree with the homie. It was a great match. I've just finished watching it, actually.
Oh, snap.
Yep. I will say I did cringe at the... was it the body drop? Body slam? Where it looked like... what's his name? Not Okada, the other one. Tanahashi fell on Okada's head. That was cringy to me. Especially when Okada's like getting up and you just see his face. He just sold it, and it's like he's like the lights are on and nobody's home.
Yeah, that's like, do you think he got a concussion or something? Or do you think he just got knocked out temporarily?
I think he just got knocked out and he was trying to sell the move.
Yeah, because they sell a lot better in New Japan, I think.
Yeah. From the matches that you guys have made me watch lately,
we didn't make
they do. Watch. Hey, you made me watch it for the podcast, so I'm gonna say you make me watch it.
Oh, okay.
I think they do better acting, quote unquote, to selling the moves than some of the wrestlers in, quote unquote, the big leagues.
The Big E?
Yes. The big entertainment business.
I'm going to agree with both of you. There are two different...
On the Japanese grammar?
On both. On everything. Because I don't know the stories behind these wrestlers, so learning it as I watch the match. Tanahashi being the old school person coming in and trying to be the person that beat him, to beat all his records, goes all the way, talk about his injuries, finally winning the G1 to get the certificate, wanting to battle the one person he hasn't beat ever. And he beats him, so it's a good comeback story. Wrestling with knee injury, which is what they played up through the whole match. the new attitude of Okada and how he's changed in his style, of course. Can Tanahashi actually, beat him? Can he do anything? He's got a bad wheel. What happens when he gets to G1? He might have to fight another person. Is it his last hurrah? That's my question. Is this person who's been doing this for so long his last go to the championship? And as you said, homie, because I can't call you Hollywood.
Nope.
As you said, is it going to be, if Kenny Omega decides to leave, that Omega retains, and that's the end of that era of that he had his last match against the top person, and now he goes into retirement? Or is it that they're going to keep, Omega decides to leave and they give the title to him with the great comeback story? Either way, it's a great story. So, watch the match. Kazuchika Okada versus...
Pronounce it without the I.
Wait, without the I?
Yes.
Yeah, Kazuchika. Better.
Kazuchika Okada versus Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yes.
All right. At Destruction in Kobe, it was on September 23rd, 2018, for the rights to fight the IWGP Champion at Tokyo Dome in January. Look it up. Tell us what you think. Let us know on all our social media outlets. That's Facebook, Instagram, our website, ugeekly.com, UGEKLY. And that's it for us. Hell yeah. My name's Jose Sands. I'm here with...
the big homie, the original OG Marcus.
And...
Gigante Ralph.
Letting you know, or saying, see you next time.
Bye.
Have a good one.
And if you're not down with that,
goodbye and good night.